Welcome back to Train Simulator 2017. This is KermMartian. This is episode 17 of my Train Simulator 2017 series, as well as episode number 5, technically, the 5th episode of KermMartian Live, where I have you guys join me for Train Simulator 2017 antics. I'm just looking over my list of scenarios and routes for figuring out what we will play this evening to get started. And I'm thinking that Frozen to the Core on the New Jersey coastline could be fun. Not since my very first video did I play with the P42DC-DP in the North Jersey coastline, so that seems like it could be fun. I haven't done much on the North London line either, so perhaps we could do some North London line adventuring after I drive the P42DC-DP, depending on how much patience and time you and I have tonight. So let's get started with that. If you have any particular objections, feel free to say so, but given that people tend to kind of dribble in as I start playing, I think we should start with that. I have a beverage here, I have Train Simulator, I have a dark night outside, and it is time to play. Alright, so Frozen to the Core, let's get going. Hope you all are doing well this fine evening. If you have some trains of your own, physical, model, or virtual, I'll have to space out my train news over the week, since it's been only I think 4 days since the last time I recorded a Train Simulator video. I think it was July 31st that I actually recorded my last video. I posted it the next day. Actually, it might have been 2 days later, August 2nd, that I posted it. This is August 4th, so the end of a week. But I will say that, as is my wont, I got another Acela model train to add to my collection. I have quite the collection of N-scale Acela trains, as we discussed in my last video. Unfortunately, I did not read this particular eBay listing as carefully as I should have, and the car that I thought was N-scale and was listed in the N-scale section, in fact, was an HO scale train. So I now have an HO scale business car. If you need one, let me know. Good morning, engineer. You'll be traveling to New York Penn, starting off here in Elizabeth and stopping at every station on your way. Weather conditions and visibility are poor today, so you'll need to proceed with caution. Good luck. All right, let's get ourselves into forward. Forward is on. Brakes are at lap. No such thing as AWS here. And let's pick up our passengers. So let's take a look at our P42DC-DP. Very nice, very nice. I love the snowy scenarios. In fact, I think this is screenshot worthy. If we just get our proper, I guess I had my proper headlights on. There we go. All right. I guess we'll leave the ditch lights off for now. Very nice. Screenshot. Timeliness bonus 167. So we'll also need some windshield wipers. I should have... Oops, don't want to go to emergency. Release our brakes. And get going. I definitely want to be gentle with this, given that we have a snowy day outside there. Let's see if I can find my windshield wipers. We're not really moving anywhere. Obviously, we need a little bit more acceleration. If I was a windshield wiper, where would I be? Good morning, sir. You missed the train. Let's see. Hello, New Jersey Transit train. Aha. Headlights, ditch lights, cab lights. Let's turn the ditch lights on. It is snowy out there. Instrument lights, desk lights. We are at 10 miles an hour. I think we're going to have to go faster than that if we're going to get anywhere today. Next stop is Elizabeth in just 0.9 miles, so we don't want to speed up too much. But we did get a little bit of a slow start there. Sender, bell, wipers. There we go. All right. We have snow, we have windshield wipers. It is 8 in the morning, and off we go to Elizabeth. Now, as I've said, it's been 15 or 16 train simulator episodes, 16 episodes, since I have last played with this train, so I'm going to have to get reaccustomed to just how it moves. We have to be at Elizabeth in 6 seconds. Excellent. That's not going to work out well for us. Hopefully we can make up the time as we go. Now it's definitely time to put on some dynamics and put on some regular brakes as well, because we gotta start stopping soon. That's a little bit too much. I'll rely on the dynamics for now. Ooh, we are a minute late to Elizabeth. What fun. One wonders if, in fact, we were not supposed to stop at Elizabeth, but it sure seemed like we were supposed to. Alright, let's get a little bit more brakes on, so we'll stop at the end of this platform. It's okay if we overhang the engine slightly here. In fact, it looks like we... Yeah, that'll work nicely for us. Doors open. Ladies and gentlemen, North Elizabeth. This is your station stop. We ask that you watch your step exiting the train, as the platforms may be slippery and snowy. It's been a while, as I've said, since I've driven the Alp 45 DP, so I think it's time to refresh my memory on some interesting facts on this particular loco. Let's take our brakes off so we don't have to wait for them to release. Slight timeliness penalty there, but hopefully nothing we won't be able to make up. Let's get ourselves going. So, the Alp 45 DP is a single cab dual mode locomotive. It was, of course, built by Bombardier. It's used by the New Jersey Transit and by Réseau de Transport Métropolitain, which I probably utterly butchered. The Metropolitan Transit Authority of Réseau. Don't want to quite go to full. That seems like a bad idea in snowy conditions. It seems like a great way to get some wheel spin. Next stop is Newark International Airport. We are still estimated to be a minute late for that, so I suppose this is a very tight schedule indeed that we are driving. New Jersey Transit apparently ordered 26 Alp 45 DPs. It is... What else do we know here? Diesel locomotive, obviously. The DP is for dual power, since it can operate off either electricity or, like, you know, pantograph power, or its own internal DC generators. It has a V12 diesel, turbocharged. I'm trying to find its horsepower, and for some reason I'm not spotting it. Oh, that's unfortunate. So, I recently created a Firefox and Chrome extension called Duck Power. It converts power figures from horsepower to duck power. So my browser is currently telling me that the Alp 45 DP has a power rating of 235,232 duck power. Unfortunately, that's not particularly helpful for us in terms of how many horsepower it has. So I'm going to pop open a calculator while I keep an eye on my speed. And take 235, 232, and divide by 48. So this is a 4,900 horsepower locomotive. We are stopping not quite as quickly as I might like, but reasonably enough. I think we'll make it. Yeah, I think we'll do well, actually. This is Newark International Airport. We are currently estimated to be a minute and a half late, which apparently is just what we do in this particular locomotive. We get places late. I am increasingly pessimistic about the opportunity to make up the time as we go. Now, I see none of you are saying anything. I don't know whether that's because I'm not, in fact, broadcasting where I think I am. In other words, I'm at a different link than what I've told OBS to expect. brakes on. Or if it's because you guys simply aren't saying anything. When I last checked YouTube, it looked like I had 4 viewers. Oop, that's not what we want. Squeaky brakes are squeaky. Doors are open. Let's take a look. And let's get those brakes off again as well. So that'll be easier for us to get started. They did say this is a 4 out of 5 difficulty scenario, so we shall see. We shall see indeed. So actually just nobody's saying anything. Fair enough. Fair enough indeed. Almost time to go. Town municipality. Plus 133. And let's go. Let's go. Let's go, train. There we go. Brakes are released. And we're off. Give it a little bit of juice there, although in real life I would probably be slightly more cautious with this amount of snow outside. Our next stop is Newark Penn Station, not to be confused with New York Penn Station, in 2.5 miles. We are estimated to be 2.5 minutes late there. Wow. So this scenario is apparently a very tough one. Let's get ourselves going faster. Because not only did we start out somewhere between 30 and 60 seconds late, that seems to be compounding as we go. Oof, that's a good beverage though. Let's get right up. We have a 75-mile-an-hour speed limit here with a 75 coming up. We have places to be, people to see, and things to do. What else can I tell you about the L45DP? Sanders would help me accelerate faster indeed, I bet. I bet they would. I'll try that after Newark. My braking seems okay, so it's not like I'm getting some particularly poor traction. I'm being a little bit hesitant. I suppose if I use my Sanders, I would not have to be quite so hesitant. Yep, New Jersey Transit is Jelly Abram 87. We have the rhythmic pulsing of our windshield wipers to contend with as we head towards York Penn. We have a 35 limit just before the station, so we'll have to be aware of that, although that shouldn't be too hard. What else can I tell you about the L45DP, as I just said? 2 converters, 1 per bogie. 4,000 kilowatt power output. Top speed is 100 miles an hour in diesel mode, 125 miles an hour. Oh, we are speeding substantially. This is what happens when I look at Wikipedia. I hope you guys weren't hoping for a high score today, because we're not going to get it. This feels like one of the scenarios where I'm really tempted to start it over. We're sufficiently... Ooh, we're not going to get down for that 35 either, I suspect. We might. This is one of the scenarios where it feels like I would be better off if I just started over, having done a little bit of learning on it. We actually are down for the 35. Excellent. As I said, this route is one I've done very little learning on, and certainly with the L45DP in the snow, that's something to be aware of. Go 125 miles per hour. Well, no. And here's why. Okay, I could go 125. We do have the pantograph up. So we are in electric mode at the moment as we get ready to stop at Newark Penn. I don't think it's time to stop yet. We are here in a reasonable amount of time. We're still about a minute late. Alright, now we can stop. We're safely within the station. So we caught up some of the time by speeding there. We lost a massive number of points. I think I'm just going to see this through, and we'll see, whatever score we get at the end is the score that we'll get at the end. That'll just be how things work. I've also stopped significantly early along the station. Doors open. I didn't go all the way to the end, although this is an extraordinarily long platform. You could fit quite the long train. We do not have a long train today. We have behind our Alp 45DP, and what we just discovered is electric mode. We have 6 coaches. If we take a look outside, you'll see that they are our single level coaches rather than the bi-level coaches that are frequently used with the Out45DP on many of New Jersey Transit's commuter routes. New Jersey Transit uses the Comet rail cars, as I said. I believe they use the Comet 4 rail cars. They have some Comet 5s as well. They use the Comet 5 cab cars. I'm just reading in this particular Wikipedia page. Oh, also, apparently it's time to go? I'm rather confused. Alright. Off we go, after we release the brakes. Oof, not my best night for training. We'll get it. We'll figure it out. Professionalism. There we go. Brakes are released. Go to notch 4 since we're indoors, and pull this train where we're going. So they retired the Comet 4 cab cars and now use them as just regular internal cars of a train, while the Comet 5s are used as the actual cab cars when cab cars are necessary. If we pop ourselves into a slightly higher, let's just go straight to full and get into one of our cars. So here we have, I believe this is a Comet 5, I'm not sure. As we exit Penn Station sedately, keeping an eye on that 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, which is about to go up to a 45 though, so we'll be okay. We're crossing the bridge over the river immediately east of York Penn. If I zoom out a little bit, you'll be able to see that bridge. Very nice, and we're speeding. Said we weren't going to speed. That was the plan. I lied. Come on, dynamics. There we go. Now we're safely in the 45. We can start accelerating again. Speed! Speed up to 45 anyway. We have the highball, so off we go. Our next stop is Secaucus Junction. Track number 2 in just under 5 miles. Secaucus Junction coming up. We have our path station off to the left and right. Although, since I don't have any path rolling stock, I'd be very surprised to see the path train here in Train Simulator 2017, as I believe I may have mentioned the last time I drove this route. I have played an excellent game called World of Subways that has an incredibly accurate reproduction of the path train in it. In fact, I think I should probably play that at some point and record a video for my channel. I have never done so. It's been quite a few years since I played it. I want to say it's been at least 2 or 3 years, if not longer, since the last time I played World of Subways. But I did indeed enjoy its faithful reproduction of the path route from 33rd Street, Manhattan to Newark. Let's get up to that 60-mile-an-hour mark so we can make it to Secaucus in a reasonable amount of time. It's still estimating that we're going to be 2 minutes 42 seconds late. We'll see what happens. Also, I can only assume we're going to switch tracks in about half a mile, which is why we would have that 30 limit coming up, followed immediately by a 60. So let's see how easily we can get down for that 30. If our dynamics can do it, or if we'll need to add a little bit of air brakes. Looks like air brakes. Let's lap our brakes. Service. Lap. That seems good. Yield. Don't want to put a little more on? Oh, I think that'll be good. Let's release them. 32. 31. Alright, we're good. We can release our dynamics, and since we're going up a slight incline, give ourselves 1 notch of throttle. Now we're gonna, of course, tail off over to the left here into this middle track. Beautiful. Beautiful indeed. And then wait for the end of our train to clear before we go back to 60 miles an hour. You were behind 20 minutes, Alex. Yes, you were. Yes, you were indeed. Hello there, Kai Tucker. Welcome to the channel. Alright, we're back into that 60, so let's get right up to speed. These Out45's 5 DPs are pretty heavy, so I don't have to worry too much about wheel slip since we're putting it full power at 30 miles an hour. They weigh a pretty substantial 130.6 tons. So we have a lot of mass to put on top of those wheels as we spin them up with our 4,900 horsepower. Well, the diesel generator is 4,500 horsepower. What are our electric motors torque like? This Wikipedia page does not seem to have... Ooh. 453,200 duck power from just the electric motors. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive indeed. Amusingly, you lose almost 70,000 duck power, and we're speeding. One sec. If you supply head-end power to a consist of 8 cars instead of just driving the locomotive by itself. Let's get back up to that 90 now. Well, towards that 90, we have a 60 mile an hour mark coming soon. What time is it in America? Well, I'm on the East Coast, so it's 10:37 p.m., 22 hours, 37 minutes. You must be up either extremely late or extremely early, Kai Tucker. Neither one is particularly attractive prospect, so it's either like 4:30 in the morning and you haven't gone to sleep yet, or you're awake for a very early piece of work. Either way, I apologize. Then again, I frequently stay up extremely late to do coding work. I find that late at night / extremely early in the morning is my most productive time to code, so I can't fault you there. We are going over one of the, actually, from what I've read, one of the biggest bottlenecks in the entire Northeast corridor. If this bridge fails, then we have some really substantial problems as far as trains getting between New York and Philadelphia and, everywhere north and south of that. So let's hope that bridge doesn't fail. Now we can get back up towards 90, although we're not going to be able to go too fast because Secaucus is coming up in just 1 mile. For those just joining us, we are on the North Jersey coastline on a snowy winter morning. This is an Alp 45 DP in electric mode, hauling a consist of 6 single-level Comet rail cars. We have a couple people hanging out on our train, although I'd imagine on a snowy morning like this, most of our potential commuters are still snuggled up in their homes. So let's put some dynamics on, go straight to -8, and then see what we need to do. Yeah, we're going to need some air brakes here too. Service. Yeah, we're going to need some serious air brakes. I like to enter stations at about 37 miles an hour. I feel like I'm becoming a broken record about this. Luckily, we have an extremely long platform here at Secaucus, so we should be okay. And we're losing our speed very nicely. In fact, I'm going to stick with just dynamics to coast in slightly, even though we are 2 minutes, 27 seconds. Oh, no, actually, we're only about 2 minutes late for Secaucus. Alright, I'll use some more air brakes now. And... come on. Stopped. Doors are open, ladies and gentlemen. This is Secaucus Junction. If Secaucus Junction is your final stop, you don't have to watch your step. Well, you should watch the gap, but you shouldn't have to worry about slippery platforms because we are indoors. The next and final stop will be New York Penn Station. New York Penn Station will be our final stop. If you don't get out there, you will end up going back to New Jersey and you'll be charged for another ticket. So we strongly suggest that if you've been snoozing, that you wake up and get ready to disembark at New York Penn Station. 3:37 in the morning, spotting at Cardiff Central tomorrow. Ooh, good stuff. Good stuff. What are you hoping to see? Some Arriva trains, some Great Western. What are you looking for? Let's not fix it because we are indeed indoors, so we don't have to worry about traction too much. And we're estimated to be 3 minutes late for New York Penn. That's unfortunate. Very early service from Plymouth. Well, my condolences to you. I hope you're able to get some sleep at some point. Although, I selfishly also hope that I continue to distract you from getting sleep. So there we go. There we go indeed to blatantly rip off one of my favorite YouTubers' key phrases. As I said, New York Penn is our next and last stop. Since this was such a short service, and with refamiliarizing myself with the L45DP and trying to read about it at the same time, I suspect that I'm going to do another scenario of some sort before I call it a night. I would certainly be more than happy to accept you guys' suggestions. I saw that I haven't done as many of the scenarios in the North London line as I should have, so that's a possibility. I certainly haven't driven the Great Western main line in a while, driven into Wales, so if you have any interest there, especially since Cardiff is coming up here, then I would be more than happy to hear that suggestion as well. So let me know what you feel like. Electric, diesel, freight passenger. I don't want to say steam because we've seen how well that's worked for me in the past, and since I haven't done any practicing lately, I don't want to disappoint you guys, but let me know if you have feedback. I'll keep sipping this delicious beverage and driving my train in the meantime. We are switching over to the wrong side of the tracks, no doubt because Governor Chris Christie has failed to invest anything in New Jersey rail infrastructure, has continued to kill the new Hudson River tunnels, and therefore these tracks, obviously half the tunnels probably closed down, so we have to ride in the wrong tube. Just blame Chris Christie, that's what we do. I'm amused that even New Jersey residents seem to no longer be particularly enamored with Chris Christie. We have to be aware of that 60-mile-an-hour limit as we head into the Hudson tubes, and we will be going down a pretty steep decline, so that's going to be likely to accelerate us further. I rode here just last weekend. I took a trip down to New Jersey, and we're about to start speeding. There we go. Now we have it under control. I was riding, I'm sorry, I didn't actually ride the train last weekend. I rode the bus, as I said in my previous stream. That was a mistake. That is all I can say. It was fast going down there, but coming back, it was slow. There was an accident at the Lincoln Tunnel leading into Manhattan, so the bus actually took longer than the train would have, even for being much more direct. Yes, please do Cardiff again. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. I had to retry it a couple times because of some issues, but, Welcome to Train Simulator, Lyle. I'm glad you are seeing what else is out there in terms of simulator games. Grounded this early August snowstorm. Ha! Forced onto my train. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, so the snow was bad for everyone. I apologize. The snow must have come in for you as well. Do you play Dovetail's own flight simulator, or what's your preferred flight sim? And also, what is your particular poison, Kai Tucker? Do you prefer the English trains or the Welsh trains? If I were to explore what Great Western Main Line scenario I feel like doing tonight. Also, I need to figure out a way to get, I believe I've seen that there is a route available where somebody has pasted together the different bits that go from London all the way to Cardiff. So that would be a very fun thing to play at some point. But I need to investigate it further. I'm just heading through the Hudson tunnels on our way to New York Penn Station. Everything's going pretty smoothly in here. You'll note, amusingly, that even though we're deeper under a river, that we still have snow on the tracks. I think, unless those are just our concrete sleepers. They could be. I hope that's what it is. I hope none of the snow got in here. You can see that certainly the visibility has gotten quite low. So some of that snow must have snuck in here. I believe they made this particular route before the Hudson Yards were covered over by the current set of construction that's happening there. I was actually, we have to be down for a 15. All the brakes! All the brakes! I was just at an architecture firm today that is working on a number of the projects in the Hudson Yards. So they were showing me some of the cool things that they're doing for that. This is all public knowledge, nothing proprietary. That, for example, there are these excellent systems of cooling within the platform they built on top of the Hudson Yards in order to conduct the heat from all the trains underneath away so they can grow plants and have trees in this plaza that they're building on top of the train yard. So we're about to start cruising through the Hudson Yards now. I never get to see this because I much more frequently, and we're speeding. Let's fix that. I much more frequently drive from New York to New Haven on this particular, well, in Train Simulator in general, but coming in and out of Penn Station, so I don't generally get to see this side of the terminal. That was a little bit bumpy coming in, but hopefully our passengers are not too annoyed. London, Paddington to Exeter St. David's, and also Cardiff. Also, there's an extension that you can go that goes down to Plymouth and, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Paynton? I'm going to guess Paynton. If I butchered it horribly, I do apologize. My American English tongue can't wrap its... Oh, dear. Well, it's way around. I mean, I do okay with English place names. Welsh place names are right out for me, so I do apologize for that. Underground rain, and underground snow. That's what we have in Train Simulator. Heading over to platform 8 at Penn. And we are speeding up slightly. Everything's mostly under control. So I do have a terrible score of 100, so this is going to be deep in bronze medal territory, if anything. I don't think they even give you a medal if you do too badly. But a lot of that is due to just being late to stations, for which I apologize. I got it right. Excellent. Thank you. So let's just pull sedately in. We are, in fact, on time, magically. Somehow we've managed to be here on time and with minimal speeding after Secaucus Junction as well. I'll actually, since we're here in such time, let's head right to the end of this platform and find somewhere reasonable to stop, so we can at least more or less center that little station house icon on our HUD. Put ourselves in for a nice easy stop. Endorse. Ladies and gentlemen, this is New York Penn Station, your last and final stop on this New Jersey Transit train. Please remember to take all of your belongings, and we look forward to seeing you, well, probably this evening. You probably need to head back to New Jersey. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. If you've taken a look at my past videos and streams, I'm always more than happy to accept feedback and thoughts. I aim to continually do better, both at my train knowledge and at my train simulator skills and route knowledge. Excuse me, sir, it looks like you're about to fall off the platform, so please be a little bit more careful. Yep, you're definitely walking off the platform. I'm not sure how you're doing that. So we've made it to New York Penn Station. As I said, I definitely feel like playing something else as soon as our doors close. 4503 served us well. I served it slightly less well, so I'd like to make up for that. Congratulations, engineer. You successfully finished this run from Elizabeth to New York Penn. Let's see how you did. Well, I earned a score of 267 out of 1,000, which really is not that great. I'm definitely going to have to redo that scenario at some point and hope I do a little bit better. Better is the word that I'm looking for there. West Coast. So, yeah, about that. They don't actually have a lot of West Coast, because I know you mean West Coast of the U.S., not West Coast of Britain. Routes. I will show you what they have. So, country, United States, B&O, Cajun Pass, Clear Creek. They recently added, let me find it, I'll just show you it once I find it. They recently added a little bit of West Coast action. So there's the Pacific Surfliner, but that's not what I'm looking for. That is not, there we go, Peninsula Corridor. So this would probably be the one that's the most interesting to you, Alex, given your residence in the Bay Area. This is the Peninsula Corridor, so San Francisco to San Jose and back, with the excellent Caltrain in its beautiful white and red livery. But, you know, at $39.99, that's a little bit dear for me. Oops, we skipped, because apparently I don't know what I'm clicking on. So possibly in the future, but not today. Not today. The other thing, as I said, is the Pacific Surfliner from LA to San Diego. The price has gone down a little bit on that. That's $20. I might have to add both of these to my wish list for future playing. They do seem like they would be fun. Could be fun stuff. They both use the F59PH with that wonky looking slanted front. And I believe there are some P42DC scenarios as well if you have it, which I do indeed. I could also put together a fun little quick drive consist. 30-minute ride. Yeah, I know. Isn't that expensive? I could put together a fun little quick drive scenario. I'd love putting the P42DC in places it doesn't belong. I know, right? $39.99 USD. What is that, about 30 or $32 in British pounds? Although, do they do the really annoying thing that a lot of other companies do and just charge the exact same number with a unit of pounds instead of dollars? Because I find that pretty obnoxious. Let's see what we have here. So if we take a P42DC, a Celato, yeah, that was a fun one. I'll take a prototypical Vermonter, and let's see what I can put it with. So if I were to choose South Wales Coastal, we could always take this P42DC consist from Cardiff Bay. I didn't realize they went all the way to Cardiff Bay. Cardiff Queen Street? Nope. Cardiff Central, there we go. From Cardiff Central to... I mean, I could set it to all the way to Bristol Temple Meads, but that's going to take a while. Maybe Bristol Parkway? That seems like it could be fun. What do you guys feel about this? I mean, I could also do the, actual scenarios. I could see what we have in the way of career scenarios. Actually, let me do that. I can always come back to this. We can look at it for comparison and see what would be more fun. Scenario name. UCML, Hamburg, Germany, London to Brighton, Marseille to Avignon, Munich to Garmisch, New York to New Haven, Norfolk Southern, New Jersey, North London, Northeast Corridor, Riviera, Semmeringbahn, Sherman Hill, South Wales Coastal. All right. So what have I not done? I could play some freight shenanigans. I could drive a Freightliner. I haven't tried the Freightliner Class 70 yet, so I'm going to skip that for today. I could do some Arriva Trains action with the Class 175 from Taunton to Cardiff. I'm going to skip that one as well because it's a 60-minute scenario and it is almost 11 p.m. for me. I could try to redeem myself on this 40-minute Cardiff to Cheltenham Spa Class 175 route. That could be fun. Good evening there, Seren Softpaw Skunkit. Bristol Parkway is Brill. That's a short journey, dude. It is indeed. Alright, so let's put it to a vote. Do we want some Class 175 action with an actual career scenario from Cardiff to Cheltenham Spa, or do we want to take a P42DC way out of its comfort zone and drive a Vermonter consist from Cardiff Central to Bristol Parkway, What say you? So we're looking at diesel electric versus electric action, US versus British trains, doing something that makes sense versus doing something that's absolutely ridiculous. So many tough decisions to be made here. So many. Cardiff to Bristol Parkway, electric. So we have mixed one vote in each way so far. Something ridiculous. All right, you change your vote, so it's 2-0. P42DC from Cardiff Central to Bristol Parkway. We just did snow, so let's do something clear and summery. I apologize for the sirens. No. I can speak for at least some of the people. So we have one flight simmer. I know Alex doesn't really dabble. He's a gamer, but not a train simmer of any sort. I'm not sure about the rest of our visitors today. And let's make this sunset. I love sunsets. And I love trains, at sunset. So let's call this 7:30 p.m. on a clear summer evening and see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Do you guys have posted videos, or do you do live streams as well? I'm always curious to add more interesting channels to my repertoire. I mostly focus on Moleman978 for my YouTube train watching shenanigans, and since he's been offline for the most part lately, what with his computer troubles and life events, sad, there hasn't been a lot of new stuff from him. So if you guys have channels I should check out, please do let me know. Yeah, so actually that's why I started watching Moleman978 on YouTube, Alex, because I did like it. It's just kind of a background thing of watching a train go along, listening to someone kind of just gently talking over it. It didn't take a lot of my attention. It was kind of a nice, just accompaniment. All right, so we have our P42DC number 82 here. Let me take you along my train so we can take a look before we get going. We have a consist of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Amfleet coaches. They are fitting on the platform here. I've taken a couple of American trains out of London King's Cross, and they kind of clipped into the platform a little bit. We have our cafe car at the back of the train, which is fairly prototypical. And then in front of it, we have our 4 passenger coaches, all the same class. It's all just coach class. We don't have, well, I say that. The cafe car has business class in it, in the back half of it. Got an Arriva Trains 175 coming in here, number 101. Ooh, is that a DMU and I forgot? My bad. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that the Class 175 was a DMU, not an EMU, so it would have been diesel either way. My mistake. Also, this is super pedantic, but I can't help but notice this 82 is the wrong font. I apologize for that. Anyway, let us see where we're gonna get to today. We're already in forward. So I found that AWS doesn't necessarily play well with American trains, so let's hope we don't encounter any AWS warnings. Let's get our brakes off, our prime mover going, and head off. Off we go. Class 42. Let's put on a little headlights too. Oh, that's probably too much headlights. But that appears to be our option. All right. Lots of headlights. Got a little screenshot going there. We are heading into dusk, so it's probably not a terrible idea. We're also going downhill, heading out of Cardiff Central, as one does. So we'll have to be careful of that. Although, oddly enough, the HUD doesn't seem to be showing that very well. A little bit more speed and power going here. P42 is one of my, if not my favorite, diesel locomotive. Yeah, we can't do too many dynamics with this, unfortunately. Put a little bit of braking on as we're about to speed. All right, we're good. Let's see if we can do this very nicely, even though we're not getting scored on it. Oh, awesome. Very nice, very nice. From what I've heard, that's relatively unusual that you've only had one serious or one incident at all in your years as an engineer. All right, speed limit's up to 20, so let's get ourselves a little bit more power. Yep, people, man, it's people. I am currently, my current job, it feels weird to call it a job, but it is a job, is I am co-founder of a startup, and my kind of, we just barely missed speeding there. My current burnout plan is to pursue my dream of being an engineer at some point on an actual railroad, and or to have my own train line. The one thing that I am aware of, and we'll have to keep in mind about that particular burnout plan, is I do know that you pretty much are going to see people either do dumb things and hit them with your train, or do see people trying to make some pretty permanent and final decisions about their lives and involve you in that. So I hope you haven't run into too much of that. I don't know, that's not real. I'm not sure that's true, Kai Tucker. I know, so up until recently, I was very frequently taking the Amtrak Vermonter between New York Penn and Essex Junction, Vermont. That's one of the reasons why I have a Vermonter consist already set up in Train Simulator. And I know that they had an accident at a grade crossing that wasn't even fatal. I think either the person was able to get out of the car before the train arrived, or the engineer was able to significantly cut the speed before he reached the car. But I think even then it was like a 2 or 3 hour delay that the Vermonter was behind because of that incident. Made the local papers as well. Sorry to hear that, sir. Sorry to hear that. That's a tough one. Yeah. I mean, to some extent, it's people making decisions, but I'm sure that doesn't actually help, with the reality of it. Dang, that sucks. I'm sorry. Sorry for them, sorry for their families, and sorry for you that you were, part of that, even though it was not your decision. On the plus side, speed! Get ourselves right up to 100%. See if we can make this 75 mile an hour speed limit. Sounds so wonderful too. I love the sound of the P42DC. As I was talking about on my last stream, I have a model P42DC that I've tricked out with a decoder and extra SMD LEDs for the ditch lights, the proper front and rear tail lights, and so on. Hello, Freightliner, Class 70. You have quite the rake of cars behind you. We are moving now. Excellent. They're really booking it. That was such a short train by American standards. Speed! Hello, Battle Squid. Good to see you here. We're about to start speeding. Let's be aware of that. Battle Squid is another KermMartian member joining us today. KermMartian is my main home on the internet for those of you who are joining me either on the stream for the first time or haven't watched too many of my videos. It started as a place to show off my graphing calculator programs, as I started life as a TI-83, TI-84 plus programmer. Now it's expanded far beyond that to all kinds of random things in technology, programming, electronics, video games, and everything else. We have a 95 coming up, so we'll be able to really speed along. Exactly. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard this Amtrak service to Bristol Temple Meads. We will be going on the fast lines today. We have an express service all the way to Bristol Parkway. We will be arriving there in 29 miles. We ask that you be careful moving about the train as we move along, as we do have a tight schedule to keep today. Please remember to have your tickets out as the conductors come through the train. If you're showing your ticket on your phone, we ask that you turn up the brightness to full if you're using the Amtrak app or showing a PDF in your browser. That'll make it much easier for us to scan your ticket. The cafe car is at the rear of our train today. A variety of refreshments, sandwiches, and soft drinks are available. If you have a business class ticket, you should make your way to the rear of the train, as we have the business class in the cafe car today. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to flag down a uniformed crew member, and we hope you enjoy your ride. Hello there, Logan Jones. I know, right? I mean, we're just barely making it with the P42. I'm sure there's going to be a couple of places where we don't make it at all. So I was saying that I was taking the Acela out of London King's Cross HST in that beautiful dark green Great Western livery. I really like that livery. That's a good one. Jeez, I can barely hear myself over this locomotive. Yeah, so I definitely either dented my Acela or broke off a piece of the platform 1 at London King's Cross, trying to take an Acela out of it. You passed train school, A+, thank you. Yes, I've only ridden 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 or 50 Amtrak trains. It always confuses me that it's actually conductors who are in charge, so to speak, of a train. And engineer is second in command and the fireman is third in command. I find that, I mean, it makes sense if you think about it, but it's still quite interesting. There should have been a ding there from AWS, but, you know, we're in an American train, so no ding. HSTs will not be with the GWR anymore from 2018. I mean, from what I hear, they can't even get their act together with electrification and the Class 801s. So we'll see what happens there. The last I heard, they were trying to either get some new locomotives that were dual mode. What? Speeding? Huh. That's unexpected. Now we're good. Or get, I don't know, retrofit the Class 801s? I thought those were purely electric locomotives. I didn't think they were dual mode. So as far as I can tell, the United States and Britain seem to be competing to see who can invest the least in their infrastructure. I don't know. I subscribe. I subscribe. If you subscribe to me, at least check my channel for live stream. Yeah, it seems reasonable. Do you live stream Train Simulator 2017? Because as I was saying a little bit earlier before you arrived, with Moman978 not streaming these days, I'm looking for some other people to watch and enjoy in the background while I do some work, because that's always a fun thing. We're all the way down to 90 miles an hour. Let's get the speed back up again. Speaking of Amtrak, yeah. That is unusual. So there's one section of the New York to New Haven route. I can, you know, I've played enough in Train Simulator that I can feel it in real life when we go through it, between the Pelham Bay Bridge and just before New Rochelle, where there's a 100 miles an hour speed limit, the only 100 mile an hour limit between New Haven and New York. And I do like to try to hit that 100 miles an hour, especially if I have an Acela, although the ACS 64 can do that easily as well. Sadly, the rest of the route is pesky, like 45, 60, 65 mile an hour speed limits, especially with that super windy route. All right, we have a 75 coming up, so let's lay off the throttle. Why are we in 100% braking? I got AWS. So yeah, this is the problem with this particular combination of route and train. I apologize for this, because there's no actual indication of AWS. I just got hit by an AWS failure. My brakes are at 100%. We are in neutral, and we are just going to have to coast down to 0. HSTs. So HSTs are high-speed trains. They are a long standing, venerable British set of diesel locomotives and coaches that is used pretty widely throughout English and British train systems. GWR is the Great Western Railroad, heading from London into Wales. All right, let's see if we can reset this now. There we go. Remove our brakes, get ourselves into forward again, clear the AWS by tapping Q a bunch of times, and get ourselves going again. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the slight delay because of the incompatibility of our American trains with the British rails we're currently riding on. We were stopped without us realizing it. We apologize for any inconvenience since you've already traveled all the way from somewhere in America to Cardiff. We hope you won't mind a few seconds of extra delay. Now we have to wait for our brake pipes to release their pressure. As you can see, if I pull up the HUD a little bit, I mean, I can't point with my mouse or with my finger, but there's two little gauges right next to the symbol of the fuel pump. Once we get our brake line pressure all the way up and our brake cylinder pressure down, we will be able to start moving. There we go. Actually, you missed earlier in this exact same stream. I was driving the P42DC-DP with a consist of 6 Comet cars from Elizabeth out to New York Penn Station on a snowy morning. That was a little bit shaky in terms of success, but it was a fun ride anyway. I need to build up my route learning on the North Jersey coastline. Here we have another HST coming up. Let's get out to watch it. Yeah. Gotta greet that HST as well. It's a very nice train, very nice indeed. I'll have to take some screenshots at some point too. Hopefully with an HST or a Class 175, excuse me. Anyway, let's put ourselves into 100% power and get this going again. So unfortunately, I don't have the 100-car train. I mean, I have the turbine, the gas turbine, so I guess I have some Union Pacific stuff. I guess I could do a 100-car train. I haven't haven't done quite as much diesel. We're about to start speeding. Now we're good. We are coming up on Newport. We are not going to stop at Newport today. We're going to speed right through because our passengers want to get to Bristol Parkway today in 22 2/3 miles. Also, let me lower this head down again. There we go. Much better. That HUD can get a little intrusive sometimes. And we have a 30 coming up, followed by a 20 and a 40 and then a 75. I know, right? That would be pretty hilarious. You're waiting for your little Class 175 DMU to come rolling along, and a massive American diesel rolls by instead. Yeah, high rail vehicles would be cool. I would enjoy doing a little bit more with the pump car. We almost ended up in a previous stream with the pump car pulling along. Oh, I didn't actually get down for that 30 or the 20. I was so busy thinking about what routes I could do for you guys. I'm going to tap Q a bunch of times in case AWS decides to kick in and yell at me. I apologize for this. We should get down for that 20 though. So it's just a 30 that we blew through. I do remember you, Conrail guy. Welcome back. Good to have you with us once again. I'm glad you were able to make it to the stream today. What have you been up to since, I think it was Monday that you came along? NGCL is one of my favorites, along with the Morristown line, New York, New Haven, and NEC. So yeah, I think my favorites, if that's what we're going to talk about, might as well. Favorites are always fun. My favorites are the ECML. I only have the London to Peterborough portion of it, although I'd love to get the version that includes actually, well, either has Peterborough north to York or further, or has all that together in one scenario. I love the New York to New Haven route, as I frequently, well, until recently I frequently rode that in real life. I'm not currently riding it too much, but hopefully I'll get back to that soon. We shall see what happens. Life stuff and stuff. New Jersey coastline, I like it. My first couple of experiences with it have been only okay. I frequently ride the Morristown line in real life, as I was saying in my last stream, number 4, if you go back and watch that at some point. So that would be a lot of fun for me, especially if, as I've long wanted to, I simultaneously play either the Morristown line and or the New York to New Haven route while I ride that particular line. Put a camera out the window, record my screen, and have that picture-in-picture. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Let's get back up to 40. But since it's currently like $40 for the Morristown line, I am currently kind of avoiding that. I'm hoping it'll go on sale soon. Yes, well spotted, sir. We have a P42DC number 82 pulling 5 Amfleet cars. We are heading from Cardiff over to Bristol Parkway. We're showing the British train lines what it means to have a massive American train around. So far, I don't think we scraped the top off of our locomotive, although it's been a close thing a couple of times. This is going to be tight. Nope, we're okay here. We're okay. Ooh, that side is a little bit tight, though. I think we may have lost a mirror or two there. Alright, enough of that. Let's work on actually staying the speed limit, which we are, so that's good. Thank you, Andrew Orozco. A lot of CSX. That's another one. I wish I had a little bit more so model trains, as I was talking about in my last stream. I'm interested in modeling New York to Vermont, so I'm going to have some CSX trains in there, as well as some Vermont railways, probably some, what am I looking for, Boston, Maine, probably some other stuff in there as well that I'm currently forgetting. I am from New York State, Logan Jones. That is why New York Penn Station is one of the main terminals I tend to start or end from when I'm just kind of playing by myself and playing around. Thank you guys, I appreciate that. You are late, The Last Millennial. You are indeed late. Shame on you for not seeing me post in this IRC channel that we have that it was time for some trains. For those of you just joining us, we have a beautiful Amtrak consist heading through. Whoops, let's fix our speed. Sorry, I'll finish saying that in a second. Heading through, well, we're still in Wales. We haven't gone under the Severn yet, so we're definitely still in Wales. You can hear the air compressor kick in because we just used a little brakes, adding some pressure to our air reservoir, so we will have enough air pressure to keep our brakes away from our wheels. The stream is definitely not done. You're just late. First, I drove a New Jersey Transit train, and now I'm driving an American train through a place that does not belong. Minnesota, good stuff, good stuff. I mean, Doritos are an important part of gaming. You banned yourself from the Chemetech Sacks. Why have you done that? You have a question, Conrail guy. Fire away. That's weird. I don't know why those are missing. I can't say that I've had that problem or that I've heard of anyone encountering that in the past. I certainly have them in my quick drive menu because I like to do, just like I'm bringing American trains into Britain, I like to put some of my British trains into America. And I certainly never have a problem with that from the quick drive menu. I'm excited about this question, Conrail guy. I look forward to it. Also, for those of you just joining us, I was talking earlier about a lot of the people who are showing up who are not necessarily train simulator players are from Chemetech, which is my other home on the web, my main home on the web. Focuses on programming, electronics, trains, photography, art, I don't know, just kind of random stuff. We all kind of found each other through a mutual love of either graphing calculator programming or math and science, or playing around with DIY electronics, like Arduinos and stuff. But it is where I have spent the last 17 years, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. So if you haven't checked out Chemetech in the past, you should stop by. Among other things, I keep an up-to-date topic of all my train simulator videos. I have my model train adventures there. I really should make a train photos topic as well. Our resident troll, Nikki, always posts amazing BNSF photos from the tracks that pass just behind his office in Seattle. PRRGG1 on the NEC for live stream. That would be a lot of fun. I certainly have the NEC from Philadelphia to New York Penn, and of course the New York to New Haven portion. I don't have the GG1 though. Did the GG1 come with one of the routes that they have available? Or do they sell that as standalone? Or did somebody make it? If you do have it, I'd be very curious to check it out if you do know where I can get it. You were focusing on Sachs instead of working on your contest entry. Yes. So these particular people who are stopping by are working on Chemetech contest number 20. We have programming contests that we run every couple of months for people to put together fun games or programs with prizes that include like Steam gift cards and calculators and other random stuff. Anyway, I am prattling on. Let's talk more about trains. We're on Bishton up Main now, up because we're heading towards, I mean, I guess we still count London as the center since we're on the up lines. That's sad that even though we're still in, why is there a little marker in the middle of the up? So apparently I just missed an AWS warning because we are in emergency braking again. That's the one bad thing about this. I wish they had a patch version of, or somebody had patched the P42DC to detect AWS, you know, when we're driving this on British lines. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate indeed. I know I didn't run a signal because I've been keeping an eye on that. So this must be that. We just missed an AWS warning, perhaps for that 75. Ah well, we'll just have to wait until we stop. We're getting there. We're getting there indeed. You should. It's an extremely fun game. It serves a lot of different... Yeah, the original NEC is pretty terrible. They did update it a little bit. Let's see if we can get those brakes off. They updated a little bit recently, touched up some of the assets, updated some of the more recent models of some of their various components, but it still is not great. It's so funny you should mention Roblox. I know I'm like 4 or 5 levels deep into interrupting myself in the middle of things. A lot of us very, very early in Chemetech's careers found each other because not only calculators, but also we used to play the game Blockland. In fact, many of us were involved in a mod for Blockland called the Builders Game, or TBG. We had servers, we played a lot. Eventually, we all were contributing to the game as well. One of my still friends, actually one of my best friends, if not my best friend, and co-founder of my startup, who goes by the name ElfPrince13, was a developer of TBG and then started his very own game, first based on the Torque engine, then on an engine he was writing himself called Freebuild. He currently has that on hold. because he's finishing up his PhD, founding a startup with me, and so on. But oh my gosh, why are we in emergency braking again? We have clearly not run through a signal. This is nonsense. Britain's being mean to us. This is obnoxious. I'm very sure we did not run a signal. At least we can enjoy the late afternoon, late evening, early evening, late afternoon in Wales while we try to figure out what's up here. See you soon, Battle Squid. Friends, yeah. I'm always happy to have more friends. More friends makes life better. Alrighty. If we go slowly, will this be a little nicer to us? And if I keep tapping Q a lot? Q being the AWS cancel button. Let's see what happens. Clearly the answer is just to hit Q a lot. Speeding in an emergency braking zone. Yep. Alright. Let's stick it around here and see what happens. Yep, there's clearly a green signal right in front of me. We have the high ball. Why are we getting emergency braked? Why is AWS going off? Oddly enough, I think my most viewed train simulator video is my I'm blanking on the name of it now, but my Metro North. I can't think of it. I don't think maybe it's the Comet 3 cab car. Anyway, driving a Metro North train from near New Haven down to New York Penn. That's by far my most watched video. I'm not sure why that is. Just kind of speaking of random things that I haven't done lately. I haven't played pretty much at all with Metro North trains since I made that particular video. Alright, see you soon, Logan Jones. Hello there, VA Rail fan. I will, Andrew. I will check them out. NS 911, nice. So, disclaimer, I definitely don't recommend it, but if anybody were to simultaneously drive an NS train and train simulator while riding in the cab of one in real life, that would be kind of cool. As I was saying a little bit earlier, one of my long-standing goals for my channel is to make a video where I am riding in the passenger, you know, as a passenger, not driving the train, although I have driven the odd real train in my life. Playing train simulator while riding the same route that I am driving. I think that would be a great deal of fun. I've done it before. I've ridden the Northeast Corridor between New York and New Haven and driven the same route on my laptop as I go, and it's been a great deal of fun. But I have not recorded, and I think that would be the interesting thing. I'd probably have to record the commentary afterwards because Amtrak Wi-Fi definitely would not support streaming, and I don't think my fellow passengers would very much appreciate me narrating a train simulator video while riding, but I think that could be a great deal of fun. Alright, we are about to leave Wales and enter England. For our Welsh passengers today, I do apologize. For our American passengers, you probably don't know the difference, so that's fine. It's hard to do shaving a haircut with this particular horn because it does have a little bit of a sustain on it by itself. Raritan Valley line would be cool. That would be very cool. It was nice, Conrail guy. Thank you for asking. It was a busy day. Lots of work stuff to do. Lots of coach ride. Oh, we definitely just knocked the signal off. Our locomotive definitely knocked the signal off. That little gantry. Ooh, your friend operates the remnant of it. Very nice. Cape May Seashore Lines. That's awesome. Shoreliner 3 cab car to Grand Central. That's the one. Thank you, The Last Millennium. I appreciate you adding that little bit of research for me. When I drive train simulator by myself without an audience, and I can just kind of focus on, oh, I think we need to say hello to this train here. HST action! Look at that. Very nice indeed. And also look how much taller we are than this HST. Going through the tiniest of tunnels. There we go. Very nice. Let's not speed. We're about to start speeding. Very nice. Caught it in time. I certainly did. I live sufficiently close. I mean, I've said where I live in my videos before. I won't make it too easy to find, but I live sufficiently close that I certainly heard about it, as well as the crash at Atlantic Avenue on the Long Island Railroad a short time later that seemed quite similar, where the engineer did not sufficiently decelerate for the buffers and just kind of crashed through them. So I haven't ridden the Raritan Valley line as much as I've ridden the Morristown line, so I'm much more interested in that at the moment, but as I said, that's a little bit pricey for me at the moment. Alco C424, good call, that would be fun. Bells, right. It's hard to hear it inside because this locomotive is so loud, but I do have the bell going right now. I can't head out of the train because we're in a tunnel. I'll turn off the bell for now. When we get out of the tunnel, I will ring the bell. So, I think it was Conrail who asked me last time on my stream what my favorite, specifically my favorite GE diesel locomotive was. So, what about you guys? What is your favorite locomotive? Doesn't have to be a GE, doesn't have to be a diesel even. What is your favorite? If it's an electric locomotive, I will not judge you. If you say the ACS 64, I will certainly not judge you at all. ES44AC, good call, good call. E60CP, also a good one. GTE, all right. And of course, an interesting follow-up question is what you guys think of the Siemens SC44. I've heard some differing viewpoints on it. I've heard that it's looking, I don't know, some people say it looks sleek, some people say it depends on the color schemes, some say it looks kind of snub-nosed and ugly, especially with that display on the front. What do you guys think? Of course I've heard of the NJT Arrow. Absolutely. I've definitely seen the odd Arrow in real life even. It amuses me slightly that it looks, because it is a SEPTA train. So you were a fan of the AEM7 Conrail guy? I mean, I certainly have many, many fond memories of them, having taken Amtrak as a child a decade or two or a bit ago. I won't say exactly how long ago. So I certainly have very fond memories of the AEM7s going between New York and actually Lancaster, Pennsylvania, because I was going to Strasbourg, because being a train kid, of course I went to Strasbourg. But yeah, sad to see the AEM7s go. I have to admit, I do actually personally like the ACS 64. I think it has a very clean, sleek look to it. But that's just personal preference. They're going to retire the Arrows. What are there? I think there's only like 3 of them, right? Oh, no, actually, sorry, I'm looking at the Wikipedia now. Only 1 model is still in use today. Oh, 1 model, but is that 1 instance of them? Or just... Oh, hey, we're outside again. And let's go up to 90. And I said I was going to turn my bell on. So, bell, I shall. We got our ditch lights going. We're getting a speeding warning for some reason. Yeah. Speed. Power. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. I love walking next to... Oh, we're going to clip this tunnel. Nope. We didn't. I'm amazed. I love walking next to a P42DC because it's hard to appreciate just how massive they are in a game. I mean, even in pictures, but standing next to them in real life is stunning. Gotta love trains. Gotta love them indeed. We are passing Pilning. I believe this is the station that I read is one of the least, if not the least used stations in Britain. and/or least served stations in Britain. By the way, we are in England now. You were screenshotted. Yes, you were. Yes, you were indeed. Maximum overdrive. You've never ridden Amtrak. No, jingle bells will not work. They're just ding. Hello, class 70. Very nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's get to the front again and enjoy this. Yeah, look at that. You beauty. That's good stuff. Anyway, back to being a train driver rather than a rail fan. A foamer, as it were. Nah, I would never be a foamer. So I'm a little bit confused. Yeah, yep, I hear you. By, as far as I can understand, the distinction between a rail fan and a train. So I believe there's one term that refers to somebody who specifically keeps track of the numbers of trains that they see. I'm a little bit confused about that. Do they have Metroliners, the Amfleets, with pantograph now? I don't think they do. I think they just have the regular Amfleet cars. I don't think they have any of the pantograph ones. I do not believe so. Go to the cab, take the throttle to not zero. Train air brake emergency independent full. I could. That would involve the train pulling the locomotive to a stop, which would be interesting. We'd certainly give our couplers some exercise. I'm not sure why we would want to do that. Maybe after we get to Bristol Parkway, we can do some experiments. Maybe we can. We're heading towards Patchway. Let's let Patchway know that we're coming. I mean, it's not a great crossing, but okay. Do that anyway. Ooh, we're speeding. We're speeding at 60, no less. How are we not getting AWS? Jeez, I missed that. 60. Ooh, and we're actually getting towards Bristol Parkway. I keep trying to mix Bristol Temple Meads and Bristol Parkway. That is by far the most substantial error I've made on this particular run so far. Sorry for that, people, especially the professionals with us that no doubt judge me for that flagrant error in protocol. You dislike Amtrak 80%. That's interesting. What's the other 20%? And we got emergency braked. Train simulator. Oh, we're going to come so close to getting to the platform, too. That works. Do you prefer Amtrak or Acela? I mean, okay, that's a tough question. So I guess you mean like Northeast Regional or Acela. So I love the Acela. I have a much more complete collection of model Acelas than I do of ACS 64s and Amfleet cars. I really like the livery on the Acela. I really like the look of the Acela. I like the P42 more than I like the Acela power cars, but I like the Acela train as a whole a little bit better. I'm super interested in the upcoming Avelia Liberty. That's going to be very cool from what I've seen so far. Good night, Andrew. I look forward to checking out your channel. Does it show you derailing with acceptable physics? That's an amusing question. Depends what you mean by acceptable. So sometimes the game just kind of stops. Other times it flings your train way up into the air. It depends what you're doing. I recommend looking at some of Moman 978's crash compilations because they show quite the variety of what can happen. Livery or paint scheme? Yes, excuse me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I haven't slept much lately. Disclaimer, being a startup founder doesn't lend itself well to actually sleeping. Emergency, emergency, Amtrak 82, an emergency, over. Thank you. Yes, that would be correct protocol here. Thank you. A rail fan tapes trains and rides them but does not operate them. That's fair. That's fair. Let's get some brakes on. I'll overhang my loco a little bit. Alrighty, we have made it to Bristol Parkway. Doors are open. People are disembarking. I like it. I like it indeed. Screenshots. Back. Welcome back. Well done. You've reached the end of this quick drive scenario. Well, I'm not going to be able to get the screenshot to get to that thing in the way. That's unfortunate because that was going to be a good screenshot. I am done with the route. I drove all the way to Bristol Parkway from Cardiff Central in our P42DC, pulling a Vermonter style consist. Everything went pretty well. There was one time I went about 35 in a 30. Actually, I think I was going 40 in that 30 if we're going to be fair. I also went 90 in a 60 for a short time. Everything went pretty well. If only I had been able to hear the AWS alerts, it would have gone better. We went 48 miles in our P42DC. That's interesting. I guess it remembers all the things you've done so far since you opened Train Simulator because it's showing my Alp 45 DP time in this as well. UP, Norfolk Southern, a guinea pig. Yeah, so I hate to disappoint you guys, but it is nearly midnight here in Eastern Daylight Time. And as fun as this has been, the lack of sleeping is definitely getting to me. It's impacting my train driving performance. So I'm thinking we should call it a night for now, but perhaps start this up again in the very near future. If I don't have time to do it tomorrow evening, then I think Sunday evening could be fun for my next stream. That would be episode 18, KermMartian Live number 6. So I hope you'll join me for that. Do you guys have any suggestions on the best way to let you know when I'm about to start a stream? Do you guys just kind of browse the YouTube gaming stuff to see who's streaming, or what? I usually tell my colleagues and friends on Skype and on Chemetech's IRC channel when I'm going to stream. For example, if I posted on my Twitter feed, which is at KermMartian, that I'm going to start a stream, is that a good way that people find out what is preferable? What do you guys like? Tomorrow? I could certainly do one tomorrow. Math calls. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Enjoy. You get emails. Aha. Aha. So if you're subscribed to me, you get emails. That's interesting. Comment on your channel. Do you mean comment or comment? Ah, got it. That was the answer to my question. Gotcha. Good night, The Last Millennial. I hope you won't miss the next one as well. I hope by then you're done with your Chemetech contest number 20 entry so that you'll have nothing else distracting you from trains. Well, I really appreciate you all joining me tonight. It's been a great deal of fun. It's been fun having so many people here, both, just to have the company as well as the mix of various people from my various communities, train people, calculator people, professional train drivers, amateur train drivers, virtual train drivers. Yes, will do. I will do that, Conrail guy. I will do my best to remember anyway. No promises. I will definitely try to remember. I hope you guys enjoyed this little adventure. We certainly had a mix of interesting things. One of these days, I'll try to do one that I can be a little bit more professional on and focus a little bit less on talking and looking up facts and a little bit more on, being successful and doing it right. But it's also fun to have the occasional error too and keep the banter going. Banter is always the way to go. I hope you guys will feel free if you think of any suggestions or comments or questions or things that you'd like to see me drive in the future, that you'll let me know in the comments on this video. Just an FYI, I generally take the recorded version that I have on my computer and post it up on my channel rather than using the automatic YouTube uploaded version. So it'll be a slightly different link, but it should be easy to find. It'll be at the top of my channel. I hope you get a chance to go back and check out some of my previous Train Simulator videos, both the KermMartian live stream recordings as well as the past non-live stream ones I've done. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. It's been a genuine pleasure to have you all here, and I hope to see you again sometime. Have a great night, everyone.